So Dirk, tell us about P3 Communications and what you're showcasing at this year's CTI event.
Right, Jeff. Thank you very much for this opportunity. We're a company for about 600 engineers, headquartered in Germany, and we've got an office over here in the US, in New Jersey, with about 100 engineers. We're mostly doing testing services, that is network testing, and device testing is very big over here in the field. For network testing, we do interference hunting, which is we're rolling out right now all over the US. Very popular with the big carriers because interference costs money, and we help mitigate that. We're also doing very experienced in doing network benchmarking. We're publishing a yearly report in almost every European country, and we're going to introduce this in the US for network performance from an end user point of view. How well is your Facebook loading? How fast is your YouTube video playing out? And how well is it playing out? That's, in short, our company, headquartered in New Jersey. We've got offices in California and Dallas, and we've got sister companies up in Detroit, in Michigan.
So just to be clear, do you manufacture equipment or strictly a service company?
We're strictly services. We've got some of the equipment that we're using, so we've got an own tooling division with us who help us and enable us in doing our services. This, for example, is one for doing end-to-end audio quality testing. Very simple in the field, and there's a whole back end of service back in there. We don't sell this normally to our customers as we're a services company, but it enables us to perform our high-quality services. And with regards to quality, we've just been accredited for ISO 17025. That's a lab quality management certification. We're very proud of that, on top of the ISO 9001.
Can you talk a bit more about how you conduct these network benchmarking tests?
It's basically very simple from the outside. We've got cars, lots of cars with lots of equipment in there. We're driving around using reference devices, and we've got our own usage profiles on there that play out and simulate, for example, a business user or different kinds of services. And we measure certain key performance indicators of these services while we're in the field, while we're driving, while we're stationary, and simulate the normal user and capture the user experience. And on top of that, we have very many measurement equipment, do tracing analysis, etc. So we deep dive into that and give you a very thorough report, not only what the user is experiencing, but also where the problems lie. For example, why your YouTube is not playing out the way it should be. And we've got a division of engineers who can help you also with optimizing your network on top of that.
And can you talk maybe about some of the big trends you're seeing being uncovered as you do these drive tests? Compare and contrast those trends in the US versus other parts of the world.
Well, the US is the spearhead of telecommunications right now. That was different 15 years ago. Europe was ahead then, and I see a trend in crowdsourcing, having applications on the user's phone, doing measurements. They're not as good as the ones that you do in a conducted environment or the ones that you do with a proper, engineering setup. But it's 80% accurate, and it's good enough for some applications. That's a big trend. And the second big trend is the capacity crunch. I think all of the carriers are feeling, and the complexity of the networks, and that has impact on the user perceived performance of their networks.
So in terms of in-building, you talk about capacity and coverage, but what types of testing and benchmarking are you doing in buildings?
Well, okay, we do exactly the same testing also in building. Of course, not driving around with the car, but we've got portable measurement equipment and doing it over there.
Dirk, thanks for your time.
Well, thank you so much, Jeff.